I need to educate him. I need to teach him what to do. I beg you, please don't do that. If you having to explain or teach a man, you're losing. Hi, this is Bob Grant from Relationship Headquarters, and today we're going to talk about the double standard for women involving love. Now, I'll be the first to admit, me and probably every coach that thinks like I do tell women things like lean back, don't be so competitive, don't overwhelm a man. And we get asked from time to time, Bob, why don't you write an article for men? Why don't you tell them to behave or to act better? And that's a fair point. I'm thinking about a client just recently, and she's executive, works really hard, and she's working really hard in this relationship she's in. In fact, she's probably doing most of the work. Now, do I think that's fair? I don't think it's fair. Do I think that it's her job to do most of the work? I don't think it's her job to do most of the work. But she's the one that's more in tune with what's going on, assuming she wants to work with him. If there was one overall reason, I'd mention this to her, of why we do this way with women, it's because you're hardwired to be emotional connectors. Men are not. Doesn't mean men can't connect emotionally, but we're not hardwired like you are. We're hardwired to be hunters. We're hardwired to pursue, to protect. Doesn't mean we can't be doting on our children. Doesn't mean we can't be loving husbands. It doesn't mean, but we need a catalyst for that. In parts of the world where there's a greater supply of men than women, it terrifies governments because they know men without women, men without a catalyst, end up becoming very dangerous men. They don't have someone to help them connect emotionally with another person and also connect with themselves. This doesn't happen by sharing every feeling you have or treating a man like a woman. This is just part of what you do as a woman, just who you are. That's why most of the stuff that I teach isn't so much about telling women, let's do 14 or 1,500 different things, as opposed to what are the things they're doing that are getting in the way. I'm not trying to change anybody as much as I'm trying to free them to be themselves. So I got 3 things today I want to emphasize as far as how this may play out when we talk about the double standard. Let's pick sex for the first one. Sex in general with women makes them bond and makes the relationship, they want the relationship to progress and go farther, to feel closer, to feel more in touch with each other. Women are more likely to be bonders with their body than men are. Doesn't mean men can't bond with that, but women more so. Sex for men is like glue. Whenever you have it in the relationship tends to pause or stay stuck there. Not always. There's exceptions. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. But what I tell women is, when you're having sex with him and you're dating him, he's not bonding with you. He may tell you he is. What's going on inside of him is not what's going on inside of you. And this is not to be, the fun police. This is not to be like, because folks can do whatever they want to. My response is, you can, but you're fighting biology. It doesn't matter what your philosophical beliefs are, you are. And it doesn't mean things don't work out, but you're starting at a disadvantage with that. Is that unfair? Is it a double standard? Probably is a double standard. But it's a double standard because we're factoring in what works or doesn't work. There's a reason now on YouTube and places, some of the popular videos are about asking women they're dating, they're telling guys to ask them, what's your body count? Kind of a vile way to put it, because numbers apparently matter. They've always mattered. So this is not to shame someone or say, how dare you, as much as it is, that double standard is in place for your protection emotionally. Second one is, there's a double standard that you ladies are to be protected. Most every man on the planet, unless he's vicious, vile, or disgusting, will protect a woman, even a woman he doesn't know in certain circumstances. That protection for us is what we're meant to do. We're wired that way. It is a double standard. It's a good double standard because men like protecting, women like to be protected. It makes him feel powerful. It makes him feel important. It makes her feel cherished. It makes her feel small. I mean that in a good way. It's how they feed off each other, each one playing off the other's strength. That double standard, notice it gets away from fair. Third one is women are meant to be loved. You're meant to be loved. Men are meant to be respected. And it doesn't mean respected like he's your daddy, but there's a built-in need men have to feel respected. Fathers, husbands, and women to be loved and cherished. Again, it's not that each person doesn't want some of the other. Men do like to be loved. Women do, like to be respected in their opinions and what they share. But it means there's a primary for each. And what all of these have in common is it gets away from the idea of fair. The problem with fair in a relationship is we end up making so that no one loses. When fair is really important, we start measuring how much we give. I listened a lot over here, or I did this, and we don't necessarily do it out loud. We do it internally. And we think about the stuff we're giving and putting up with and tolerating and giving and putting up with, and it's not fair. It may not be fair. Fair tends to cause us to keep score. If we're focused more instead on the polarity, if we're focused more on how do we feed off each other, then you get to evaluate a man. Does he make me feel good in general? Do I feel safe with him? That's a different mindset than I need to point this out to him. I need to educate him. I need to teach him what to do. I beg you, please don't do that. If you having to explain or teach a man, you're losing. I'm not saying you're a loser, but you're losing because he should already know this. You expressing what you like and don't like is plenty for him to get the cue. Remember one of our things that we said, you were meant to be loved. He was meant to be respected. Part of him being loving to you is listening to what makes you happy and what doesn't make you happy, and then adjusting. Men do this all the time. The phrase I use is it has to do with you women, your signature. Your signature are those unique qualities that make you who you are, the fun stuff you like and even the stuff you don't like. It's both. That you may be outgoing and bubbly, but you also may be someone that complains when they get really tired, or maybe someone that's really grumpy when they're tired. You're both of those. And as opposed to like, oh, I don't want a man to ever see this bad part of me, but just the good, he's going to see it. He's going to learn it. Accepting those parts, working on the stuff we need to work on, then enables that we can both be vulnerable to each other, but just in different ways. Couples do really well when his strength matches her weakness. Her strength complements his weakness. And a relationship that thrives is one like a dance. And it's not always perfectly symmetrical. It's not always music in the background, but it continues to dance on good days and bad. Knowing the core elements are in place, I know he's got my back even when he's upset with me. And he knows, I know she won't take advantage of me even when she could. You demonstrate that stuff over time, not by keeping the peace, by remembering to keep the balance in the relationship. If we're going to have not a fair relationship, but an intimate one, that's also going to involve anger. And men understand this really clearly. Is it a double standard that you're not allowed to use your strength, which is physical force, and she is allowed to use her strength, which is her emotional reaction? It's not fair. But that's the way it is, because that provides safety in the family. Double standards are only bad when they're used to exploit someone. Double standards in general are bad, but it's done in such a way where all the expectation is on you and most of the benefit goes to me. That's a bad double standard. But we want in a relationship to factor in there's going to be double standards. I don't want fair. Fair is boring. Fair leads to resentment. Fair keeps us fragile and we don't grow. So with the man that you choose to get close to, think in terms of the things about how you want to be made feel special. Think about those things that you like, whether someone else likes them or not. And then let's learn how to be vulnerable. Because part of being vulnerable is knowing yourself to see which side you're willing to show a man. Because he needs to understand how to be your hero. It's not enough just to tell him. He needs to know when to set a boundary with you. He needs to know when he's angry how he should approach you versus never get angry with you. He has to get angry with you at times or there's no intimacy. How is he supposed to get upset when you do something he asks you not to do? How are you supposed to get upset with him, not knowing that he's got this button about the way his mom did stuff, but you can express it in a different way? All of this requires a level of intimacy. And that's why we spend so much time talking about your emotions and your heart. A woman that knows her heart first is then able to let a man come inside of it. A woman that is guarded with her heart will guard the door of her heart from a man only seeing the parts she wants him to see. And he will feel the disconnect. And he will feel like he is never able to make her feel safe enough, never able to make her feel loved enough, even though she gives him a list of things that he should do. Men that don't embrace their manhood, that don't embrace their role as being a king, protecting the woman I love, will never have his wife have as much sex as he wants, will never be able for her to feel like she can make him happy, that she can never give enough, do enough, apologize for everything. It becomes bottomless because she ends up trying to fill the hole that only he can fill. So as we go into in the coming weeks, our campfire program is going to be coming up. Start thinking about it now. This is where we take a journey inside, introduce you to your heart. And as you do this, this is where the campfire effect is born, where you start to glow. Men notice it, men feel it, men cannot resist it. I will look forward to talking to you next time. If you are watching this live, thanks for joining us. If you're on our podcast, if you're on YouTube, be sure and leave a comment. Click the like button or sign to subscribe. I'll talk to you next time.